Okay, guys, this is weird and it's conspiratorial, but considering the source and how poorly written this article is on Breitbart, I kind of don't know how seriously we should take this, but there are a couple of good points in this that are going to make you go, So what this all about? Well, we've got Marjorie Trader Greed. I call her Marjorie Trader Greed because she made like what, millions of dollars. She went from being worth $500,000 to being worth $29 million by the time she decided to quit and punk out of Congress. So anyway, she's talking about the whole thing that went down with President Trump in Butler during the election time, okay, during the run up to the election. And she says that what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania was a hoax. So at first I'm thinking, yeah, right, Marjorie Trader Greed, you are nuts. But there's a couple of things that just don't line up about this and make you wonder. So in the article, she's going on about how President Trump should have been leading the charge to find out the truth about the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, which I think is odd. Like, why would he be leading the charge to find out about the guy that, pulled the trigger and put his life in jeopardy? That's kind of weird to me. So that goes in one ear and out the other. But anyway, Marjorie Trader Greed had retweeted a post by Trisha Hope. And it's what Trisha Hope says that kind of makes you wonder. So she wasn't there in Butler, but she was at the national convention when everybody had on the ear patches. Okay. And she said that the way that it started was a little bit odd. Okay. So she said that everyone at that time was assuming that, all right, President Trump was just the benefactor of divine intervention. An angel stepped in and saved his life. So that's what everybody was thinking. And she said that there was a big red flag raised by the way he started to talk about it. Because he said, so many people have asked me what happened. Tell us what happened, please, and therefore I will tell you exactly what happened. And you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. Now, so she claims that that is a way to prevent contradicting yourself when you're lying about something. So if you only tell the story once, you'll never get busted for different versions coming out because you can't get the facts straight of the story that you told. Now, be that as it may, that doesn't prove that Trump was not telling the truth just because he said he wasn't going to tell the story again. But here's the parts that kind of make you wonder. So when she describes the whole situation, here's what she found that I thought, well, that is a little bit odd. She said the Secret Service detail failed him massively, allowing him to be shot. And they allowed that perfectly timed photo op to take place. So instead of his Secret Service detail being terminated, in other words, losing their job because they did a terrible job that day, she said that Trump made the gentleman in the white shirt the head of the Secret Service on January the 22nd, 2025. So in other words, the guy that's in the picture, one of the people that was supposed to be protecting him who failed, well, that was Sean Kieran, and he was given a massive promotion. So that was odd thing number one. And then she says, I want you to look critically at the photo. They allow President Trump to stand up, exposing multiple potential KILL shots as the flag is gently lowered at the same time. So interesting that the other Secret Service agents lowered their heads as the perfectly timed iconic photo is taken. And then it says, honestly, it couldn't have been scripted better if it were to have been done in a studio. Now, that's interesting. I'll give her that. But she has several grammatical errors and run-on sentences in this tweet. And I find that to be a little bit odd, and it takes away from your credibility. So if you're that credible of a person, you should be able to write in a style that you would expect that a sixth grader can write, because this is not sixth grade writing. I'm picky, yeah, because my parents were both teachers and I know how to write. I would never write anything this terribly written of what you see in this story here, but that's just me. Okay, it goes on. It ends by talking about Corey Comparatori, the former Pennsylvania fire chief who lost his life that day. And that's the one thing that I can say, okay, I'm not really going for the conspiracies, because would they really take it that far as to cause someone else to cut their life short who, had a wife and kids? And then some people take it so far as to claim that he's really not, in heaven above. He's still running around here on earth. So people can just take it to the nth degree, and it's never ending. But I don't believe it. But what are your thoughts? Post in the comments. What do you think about those two things, about the timing of the photo, and about the fact that the one guy gets a huge promotion after they hideously failed that day? What do you think? And also, what do you think about the fact that Thomas Crooks, that they pretty much did a cremation within 2 weeks before they could match different samples of a certain red substance, right? I thought that was all kind of odd, and there's some weird things that go on there. But I'll be curious to hear what your opinion is. Do you think that there was something fishy about that whole situation? That's all I got to say. Now, you sound off. This is Carlton. I'm done.